one day it just snapped. Who the hell was going to make socks for the rest of my life?
I think I took my time because I once bunked an exam to attend an ASCOM conference.
There were two conflicts in my mind. I got to do something on my own, and I definitely have to do something that doesn't involve making socks.
So my first entrepreneurial stint was in the 4th standard when my mom had packed a few brownies for me in tiffin. And there was the last brownie left and this guy came up to me and said, "Can I have it?" And I said no. And then he said, "I'll offer you some money." So then a fuse went off in my head saying that, oh shit, I can make money off this.
I'm a late bloomer. I started and didn't even know it started. I figured out after 5 years, oh my god, it started already.
I was always on the lookout for successful companies, successful ideas, things that are working, things that are not working.
I went to the visa consulate to go back to my job in US and my visa was rejected.
So I sold him that brownie and next day I got like 2 boxes of brownies. And then I started selling the brownies to half the class.
And that incident is what put me on the path of entrepreneurship, and I remember after a month of doing that, I felt that I somehow seemed like I've solved my own life's puzzle and I'm at peace, right?
But the question is, do you drive a 11-year-old motorcycle the same passion you did in the first month? That is entrepreneurship.
I think startup is anything that solves a problem. It could be any problem. It could be a regular problem, a social problem, a capital problem, or anything.
If you don't like to eat khichdi, that's not a business problem. But if the canteen mess or if the college's canteen is perpetually serving bad food and you have an idea to give good food to everybody who thinks there's bad food at an affordable price, then you have a startup idea.
Well, the whole journey is memorable, I would say. But I think if I go back, in terms of things, when we were new entrepreneurs, I think a lot of stuff excited us. I think to me, the most exciting time would be the first day when we opened our doors for business in Madhouse. When we started seeing first customers walking.
So I think we all have a entrepreneurial gene in us. It's just that we don't either say we have it because we don't know what that is, or we don't explore it beyond an immediate use.
The biggest hardship is when you sort of throw in the towel and give up, or your team gives up. You really have to, even in hard times, be like, don't give up now. This is going amazing. So hardships are more in terms of attitude rather than situation.
I see failure every day. When you're running a company, you're failing every day in some aspect or the other. But that is what is teaching you how to not do it that way. Because there is no book on entrepreneurship, or there is no textbook that says that this is how you have to do it.
See, interesting part is if you are really entrepreneur from the inner side, you will never face any hardship. Because what looks like hardship for other people is what you are seeking.
See, I think the best time to start, or to develop entrepreneurship is when you're a student, because at the time your ability and your willingness to take risks is the highest.
I've just come back from Nagaland when there was a four-year-old drummer playing on stage. So you tell me, I don't know. I think people should start as soon as they feel things,
So what they should do is, to my mind, 2 things. One is absolutely find a problem which they are very passionate about, problem which has affected their life, which they care about, right? And start by building around them.
It's like when you have a crush on a girl, right, in college. You're constantly thinking about that girl. You're constantly thinking about how to talk to her, or how to get a phone number, and how to meet her, or how to bump into her. So you're constantly thinking about her. That's exactly how your idea should be. You're constantly dreaming about your idea.
Just focus on execution. So if you have an idea, try to find out what is the smallest piece of that which you can execute while being a student, right? Obviously, being a student, if you're not dropping out, right? We haven't reached that radical point in India right now. If you're not dropping out and staying in the campus, what is the best you can do, to make it a real startup and figure out that piece and just start executing.
Then we were brainstorming and thinking about what do students actually want and what do they actually care about. We kind of went back 2-3 years and tried to figure out what exactly did we want. And we came to the conclusion that all students and all that we wanted back then was freedom.
Come up with a plan, right? Doesn't need to be a business plan, doesn't need to be a big 20-page PPT or document, but come up with it could even be like on your phone, note application, just from this is what I need to do to get it off. Whether it is find a tech co-founder, or whether it is find a retail location, or whether it is this. Just come up with a 5-6 step plan, so then you'll know what needs to be done. So So those are, I would say, the base steps, and then after that, hopefully if you can figure those few things out, it all will come together.
In simple words, College Entrepreneurship Program is an initiative to promote entrepreneurship among college students, to let them know that yes, startup is something which you can seriously consider as a career option, and to help the students with any kind of help they want, whether it's connections, whether it's mentorship, whether it's getting in touch with the right people or getting their idea validated, or to answer their query, what exactly is a startup.
I think the Flat.to's college entrepreneurship program is awesome. It really puts a framework for wannabe entrepreneurs in the student community to really understand this rather complex subject, which is really very simple.
I think Gaurav is in that generation. He's already tapping the next one now. So it's interesting that Flat.to wants to do something there, because you're dabbling and you're trying to bridge that gap, and I think that's the perfect place to be.
I think it's great. I think that more people are taking initiatives to promote entrepreneurship in the country. So I think it's a fantastic idea, and it's very important that we glorify entrepreneurship now, and we glorify the fact that you could be successful as an entrepreneur as well. You don't have to just be a job seeker.
Test yourself. Are you doing it for the right reasons? I think nowadays a lot of young people do startups or entrepreneurial ventures for the wrong reasons. Don't do startups for getting funded. Don't do startups because you want to be your own boss.
I think most entrepreneurs, and when they look at a business module, or they think up a business model and they want to go out and sell it in the world, they're only looking at, I'm going to sell it for 1,000 crores, because Facebook sold that, bought this at that, and Amazon bought this at this. That's the talk I essentially hear, and that's what's driving people. 100 crores, 200 crores, 1,000 crores, and that's the flavor of the country right now. But I think, quite honestly, and I'm sure anyone who's made those 1,000 crores out of that thing will tell you that it's not really about that money. It's more about something that you thought of was sold at 1,000 crores because that many people have accepted something that you have thought of, and I think that's what it is.
I would say that if you really, really want to do something, take the leap and then do all the thinking. Don't think before you take the leap.
It's as simple as going to Flat.to/entrepreneur and filling up a small form with your interests and what exactly your understanding of a startup is, and then we'll take it from there.
That you can fail and laugh about it.
I love role play.
The coolest thing I would say is that your parents do not know what to tell their friends what they do, what your son does.
I am a sales girl one day, I'm a product person one day, I'm a dealer one day, I'm a marketing person one day, and I keep changing my roles.
Whenever anybody asks my mom what does your son do, she has no clue, and I love the look on her face. So yeah, I think that's the coolest thing.
What does it take to be an entrepreneur?
Balls, I think.